the blend tool. So I made two circles. This one is the blend tool, and I then clicked on one and clicked on the other, and it only shows me one. But if I double click on it, you can change the amount of blend. And remember, we did specific steps. Remember that? And I put in maybe 3. Preview. That looks pretty good right there. Hit OK. So again, the blend tool. I'm going to ungroup these all by selecting them all and going under Object, Expand, and hit OK, and Object, Ungroup. Okay, so now I have a bunch of circles that are all individual, but of course it doesn't look like what I had on the board. So what I did was I went and I kind of just tried. The first thing I tried to do was use the Pathfinder and make an object that was over top of it. You know, kind of like, you know, made an object that was like this, kind of an object over top. You know, if I said, okay, I could go and make an object over top like this and fill that in. No stroke needed there, and oh, that looks pretty good. I used to, oh, look at that. But I'm not getting the round edges I wanted. So then I tried to say, okay, well, maybe I'll just try and minus front with the Pathfinder, but that wouldn't work. Okay, the reason why is because I have too many objects selected. Okay, so that wasn't happening, and I was getting frustrated. So then I went and used the Scissor Tool, and that seemed to work. What I would do is cut this side here, and then come over here and cut that side there, and then go and delete. Oh, delete. There we go. So I got a circle like that. So again, I did the Scissor Tool where I cut this side and then cut. You can kind of find where it lines up somehow. It'd be good if I had a guideline there. Well, I'm just gonna guess. There, and then delete, delete, and then I click here, and then oh, it select the wrong one. I want this one down here. Delete, delete. Oh, I didn't do that one very well, did I? Probably should put guidelines across to make sure I get them exactly across. And so then I click here, delete, delete, and then clicked, I don't know, here. I'm doing this kind of fast. Delete, delete, there we go. So I went, and that doesn't look very good, but it was something. It went down too far, but whatever. You get the idea. I used the knife tool and cut my objects. I probably should cut a little bit more. That doesn't look very good, does it? Here we go. I should probably cut that a little bit more, and then let me cut a little bit more. And then let me cut a little more here. There we go. This is better. Again, I probably should put guidelines on there so I cut just perfect, but doing kind of fast here. Ugh, give me a break. Okay, and then to make round edges, if you go into your stroke options under Window, Stroke, 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 Stroke. It's already open somewhere. Stroke. Here you got your round caps, which will give you round ends here. Okay, so once I'm done, I have myself my sound waves I was trying to make. So I can either save this as an Illustrator file, or I might want to shrink the artboard down so it only has this. So some problems you'll have when you are trying to bring objects like this into other programs, like we're going to bring this into InDesign. You don't want to have all that white space around the outside. It doesn't matter in some sense, but it does. If you select it all and go again to shrink the artboard down to the size of the artwork. It's under Object, Artboards, Fit to Artboard, or Fit Artwork Bounds, or Fit Selected Art. Either one of those would work in this case. And shrinks down the artboard so it's only the size of the object. And now I'm going to save it as an Illustrator file. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do is, so making a piece of art, very easy. We've done it before. The next program I'm going to demonstrate, of course, is InDesign. The version that we have here on this computer is called 2015. Of course, I believe the latest version is 2017. How you start InDesign is under File, New. You got a couple different options. You have Document, you have Book, and you have Library. And each one is kind of similar. The book is kind of an e-book, I believe. I don't know, they've changed this. What do we have? New Document. Orientation. There's a new document. Facing pages primarily. Text frame. And what's the last one? Library. No. Not sure of library. They used to have an actual option here for doing the EPUB here. I don't know why they got rid of that. I guess, not sure why. Whatever. I'm just going to choose Document in this case. Inside of InDesign, you have basic templates like you would anything, where you go up here, you go, oh, here's the digital publishing. It's under there. So they also tried to morph InDesign into a web publishing program where you can make somewhat like a website or something like that. It's not very good. I don't know. I would probably avoid that and just do everything in HTML or use WordPress. But the digital publishing is like the example I showed you on the board, where you have multiple pages and you can have links to the different areas. And basically you make different articles, and then you can have a menu, and then you can have links to the different articles. It's not that hard to do. It's actually pretty easy. But I'm going to stick with print for now. Again, print is here. You can put in the number of pages you want, or you can just leave it default and just add pages as you're making them. Of course, you start with page 1 if you want. You got facing pages, which means the idea like I just showed you, where you would have like this. If you don't want that and you want to see one page at a time, you can turn that off. Again, it's facing pages, and turn it off. So you can turn it on and off if you want. I might leave it on for now. That's the default. Again, sizes here. You can do all the different sizes you would have inside of Illustrator. So same ones, but of course most common would be 8.5 by 11. Columns is just one column. You can put in a number of columns you want first if you want. Right now you'll notice I have one that's one column. What is one column? One big area. But if you're doing something that has multiple columns, you can actually put that in there. If you want a 2-column layout, you can do that. And it'll give you a gutter in the middle here. And you can put in how big you want your gutter to be. And the advantage of doing columns like this right up front is that the text then could run from one column to the other, to the other, to the other. In fact, the text can run from page to page to page, because as you make a change, the text needs to flow between all of them. Do you remember when we were doing the art project, the artist statement, right? When we had multiple columns? This is the same thing. We have multiple columns and so on. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. You can give one column if you want, or you could give 2 columns. It doesn't matter. It's kind of up to you. Again, they have margins here, and that's this little purple line here. So by default, it's 1/2-inch margins all the way around. And then I don't really use the bleed and slug very much or whatever at all. So I'm not sure what to do with this. But if I hit OK, it gives me, of course, a plain document. Now, if the most important thing is, like I said, the master. I'm going to reset all the tools to make sure the workspace is default workspace. Again, it's under Window, Workspace, and you can choose what kind of workspace you want. I'm going to say Digital Publishing, because that's what I chose. Again, it was under Window, Workspace. I choose Digital Publishing, just like you can change the workspace inside of Illustrator, right? Okay, so the first thing you want to do is look at your pages. So we're going to Window Pages. It's kind of the window that shows you all your stuff. Okay, all your stuff. Right now I have one master. It's right here. See how it says master right here? That master is what you want to change, and hence I'm going to put my my Illustrator file in the master, because that sound wave is going to go on every page. And so again, you have a master. In that master you can then put something graphics you want on every page. So let's say my layout, I want to have a nice kind of blue banner that goes across the top where my headline might be, or something like that. Then I want to have a page number at the bottom so that it continually numbers as the pages are going. In addition, maybe a little copyright at the bottom, and then I want to have my little symbol that I made inside of Illustrator. So again, in the Pages window, there's something called a master. You can alter, and you click where it says a master right here. In fact, you can have multiple masters inside of here, and so on and so on. So right here is master. So I'm going to go and build some things inside of InDesign. InDesign has all these tools kind of you see over here. They're very similar to the ones that you would use inside of Illustrator, but some of them are a little bit more made for publishing and less for making art. If you're going to try and make art, I would say do it in Illustrator and then import it into InDesign. I tend not to make things right inside the program, but it does have the pen tool. You all love the pen tool, right? You get the same pen tool. It does have a pencil tool, same pencil tool that you have inside of Illustrator, and so on. Then they have rectangle frame tool. This is a little bit different. This is usually for putting, so this thing called frame tool is used for mostly putting images on, like a photo or something like that. The shape tool is this one is good for making shapes. Like again, I want to put a blue banner that goes across the top of my master. I click on the rectangle tool. I come up here. I'm going to have it bleed all the way to the edge. I'm going to use a rectangle that goes across. It's about 1 inch high.
If you've created a graphics-heavy page, an entire page, not just objects, in Illustrator, can you bring over the entire page, like size, say 8.5 by 11, whatever, or would you just bring over the objects in the page?
Yeah, it depends. Are you going to make another multiple? Are you going to use that as a template?
The first page, header page.
If I'm making one page and I made an Illustrator, just leave it in Illustrator. This is great for multiple page, but if I'm trying to make one page thing, I wouldn't use this. I would use in Illustrator.
But if it's like a book, like you have the first page of the book that's graphics crazy, but then you have the rest of the book that's standard words.
Yeah, then I would bring it over just as the whole Illustrator file and make a plain page that doesn't have a master attached to it and put it in front. Okay, so you can make pages that don't have the master. Because right now I'm making the master right now, which is the normal page, but I can just make a generic page and put something like Illustrator on that. Yeah. Okay, again, I just drew a box that's 1 inch high at the top of my thing, and right now it has the same options that you have inside of Illustrator, where you have a fill and a stroke. Right now there's a stroke but no fill. I'm going to turn off the stroke. Oh, how do I turn off the stroke? How about this? There we go. Switched it. Down here they do have a color option here. Oh, here it is. It jumps over here for your color swatch. It's this one right here. You can double click and give yourself your colors if you want. And give yourself a nice beautiful green color at the top of my wonderful banner. If you want a gradient, you can give yourself a gradient. It does have a gradient right here. It does have a gradient pop-up window like you would have inside of Illustrator, and you can draw a line just like you would in Illustrator for a gradient like that. And then you can change the colors if you want, just like you would inside of, oh no, we want CMYK, just like you would inside of Illustrator. So it does have gradients. I'm gonna make something like that. So you can make things that like, so at the top of my page is going to look like that. Nice little gradient at the top. So all it is a rectangle with a gradient. It has gradient tools just like that. Oh, I haven't used this gradient feather tool. Don't know what that is. Again, it has a scissor tool. You saw me use it in the other one. It kind of works the same as that one. It has a scale tool. You can grow things and shrink things. Notes to add notes for other people. Some of the other tools is gap tool, content collector tool, page tool. I don't know what some of these are, but whatever. So that's at the top of my master. Again, this is the master. Let's put a page number in so you can do page numbering. Under page numbering is numbering and section options. Numbering and section options. That's where it's under layout right here. And it's under numbering and section options. I believe it's right here. And it asks you, do you want automatically page numbering? I'm going to say yes. Start on page 1. Well, usually your first page, you don't have a page number. That's usually the cover of your thing. So you can say, hey, let's start on the second page. Page numbering, you can change the style of the numbering if you want. You could see, you know, some books have the Roman kind of numeral kind of thing, right? Or so on. I'm not really sure all the different options here, but there's options to change the page numbering according to that. Let's see, automatic chapter numbering. I probably don't have enough for a chapter, but whatever. There is an automatic page numbering option. Again, it starts on page 2. And if I hit OK, it didn't do anything because I don't have a number down here. I think I need to give it a number first. I'm going to put a little box at the bottom. And I think I need to tell it that that's the page number. Let me select it first. I think I have to have it selected. Now go layout, page numbering, start on page 2. Oh, and there's a prefix for the page numbering. Did you see that? That would be a text that would be next to your number. We'll call it stuff. I think you have to have like a box with some text in it before you can do the page numbering. Then do the layout page numbering thing. In addition, let's put our logo in. Of course, we made something inside of Illustrator. We can actually go and copy and paste from Illustrator if you want. So you can actually come over here and copy this content and then go right into InDesign and paste it. Okay, and it sees it as kind of a group. You can scale it if you want, up and down. I could move it up here, and that could be at the top of every one of my pages now. Since I'm doing it, again, I'm in the master. Still in the master. And then I don't know what else I want to put in my master. That's fine. Okay, let's go to page 1. So to go to page 1, you come up here in the pages and click up here. And this would be your first page, so you can start building here. So maybe my document has a title at the top, so I can draw a box for a title. And this is sound wave document. And it has all the typography features you would have inside of Illustrator. I can go, and it does have a type tool right here. It looks very much the same as it does inside of Illustrator. You got your character, you got your conditional, I don't know, it has a bunch of different ones. You got index, paragraph, story, table. A lot of those would be for e-publishing. You can go and give yourself your font that you want. You can change the size. If the text is too big, again, you notice you have your little box right here. You might have to make your text a little bigger. And I'm going to put it kind of down in the bottom there. And then you can duplicate text like you would using the option click and drag. And I'm going to put, this is my title. I'm going to change the size of this so it's not the same size as the title. And I might change the color of it, just like you would change color inside of, and we'll give it a dark purple like our title. So we got one page. This is my title page. So let's make a second page. So let's say this is the title of my document. I'm making a multi-document thing. This is my title page. We're making something called Soundwave. To make a new page, again, we have a pop-up window that's called Pages. If you go up to the upper corner there, you can say Insert Page right here. Insert Page. Again, you can make more than one master, because if you're making, let's say, a magazine, you might have, article layout, then you might have a different article with different layout, and so on. So you have multiple, masters maybe, and so on. But you can just say Insert Page right here, and it'll make another page, and it asks you where do you want it. Of course, I want it after the first page. Insert one page, do 2 pages, maybe. Let's put in 4 pages. I might have text run between 4 pages, and I'm going to say OK, and it starts making a page. The numbering is not coming over. I didn't do the numbering, and why did the master not come? I don't know why. Okay, so I made some kind of mistake. Why is my master? Here's my master. No, this is not the master. Oh, that's the master. I messed up the master. Let me chop this stuff out of here. I needed to do it in here, I guess. This is the master. I'm going to cut this. This was the page down here. This was the master. I thought it was on the master when I was doing it. But I guess this is the master. So let me paste that in there. This is the master. And I guess it's probably going to want you to do, we don't want this in the master. And do I have to duplicate all? I should probably duplicate all this stuff to this facing page as well, using the option click and drag. There we go. Okay, so this is my page, my first page. Let me paste my text back in. There we go. Okay, so I messed up the master. I think this is where I should have built the master here. There we go. That's the master. This is the first page. So let's make some more pages. Again, it was under the pull down menu up here. Insert Pages. And what was it going to put in 4 pages, right? There we go. So here's the second page. And my numbering is not working. I didn't do it right. I'd have to look up. I can't remember how to do the numbering. I know it's there. So let's talk about building a page. We have our, again, in the master, it has the logo on every page and so on. So to keep consistent, I'm just going to copy this text over here. And I'm going to then title my text here. And now I'm going to start building a page. So some of the things, of course, I might want to have on my page might be some images as well as text and so on. So I'm going to go steal some images from the internet. And we want sound waves, making sound waves. Here we go. So let's steal an image from the internet. Where is that taking me? If you want, you can actually copy and paste. You can save images if you want. Save images on your computer. Oh, that's not letting me save that, is it? Is it letting me save that? I guess so. So I'm going to save this sound wave. You can also copy and paste, but that's not probably the best thing to do. It's better to save it and put it in a box. And so as you can see, this is pretty big. So now I'm gonna have to deal with trying to change the size and all that stuff. That's kind of, it doesn't work very well to copy and paste. The best thing to do if you're going to deal with images inside of InDesign is to make a frame and then put the picture in the frame and have the picture fit the frame, if that makes any sense. And so again, there's an option right here for rectangle frame tool. Remember I talked about that? Because we made a rectangle that makes the rectangle for the art, but this one's called a rectangle frame tool. So let's say I wanted to put that image kind of in a frame right here. I could put the frame on the screen here, and then in that frame I can then say insert insert or place. Just like in Illustrator, you use the place option. I use place, and then I can choose that graphic I had downloaded, and it goes into the frame. Now, it's not conforming to the size. It brought in that really big image, but I can then go to the info. There's an option to change it so it fits the window. Let me see if I can align, transform, object layout, input. No, that's not what I want. It's selected. I want to shrink it down to fit in the window. Maybe it's under info. No, that's not it. Scale. No. There is a way to make it fit the frame. What's what? The direct. I have the direct selection tool here. Select. No, I don't want that. I know there's a way to do this. I can't remember. Here we go. Auto fit. Network. Auto fit. There we go. This one. Fill proportionally. There's options up here at the top. Fill content proportionally. There we go. Okay, so it was up here in the very top. Right here. So I get my image in there just like I did, and then so let's go and make some text now. So just like you would inside of Illustrator, you can go and use your text tool. You have similar tools. You got text on a path and then the text tool. To put text on the screen, I'm going to make myself one big box that goes pretty much the entire length of the document. Then I'm going to go and steal some text from the internet. And let's put in some sound waves. And let's go steal some text from the internet. So I'm going to go and copy some text. So I'm going to go steal some text from the internet, and I'm going to go and, again, I have a text box. I made the whole, remember, one column. I only have one column. So I'm going to paste, and you have a paste option, and it pastes your text. Now it looks just like lines because I'm zoomed out, okay, as well as there. But you'll notice, of course, my text is over top of my image. So what do you think we could do? We do the wrapping the text around the image, just like we did inside of Illustrator. So if I zoom in, I can then select both my text box and my image, and they do have a text wrapping option.
Isn't there a button right there on the top?
Maybe, which one?
On the right, yeah, right.
This one?
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. Text wrapping box right there. Let me move this down. Uh-oh, I have both selected. Let me move this down. There we go. Let me move this up. Oh no, not that. Down. Down. There we go. How about that? And we move it up like that. And then, of course, we need to make sure that the text wraps around a little bit further away from my object. There is an object text wrapping option somewhere. I know there's an option for text wrapping. I don't know where it's at. It's somewhere. Oh, it's a pop-up window inside of here, and we can push your stuff around. So we want to come out a little bit, maybe not that far. How about like that? Okay, that looks good. Let's give ourselves an initial letter. Notice how it didn't mess up, it kind of messed up the top, but it didn't mess up the bottom. Move that up a little bit so it lines up. Okay, that looks good. So we have an initial letter, we have some text. So to make a second page, this text box should be lined up. There we go. To make the second page, you can actually do the same thing that we did inside of, and let me go all the way down here, and let me go all the way to the bottom here. And let me put a little bit more text in there, a little bit more text in there. I can find, where's my internet? Okay, so let me copy some more text. And of course you have the same problem that you have with Illustrator. You'll notice that you get the little plus at the bottom when there's too much text in there. So if I want to kind of keep the layout the same, what you can do is you can copy, well actually I can just run my text somewhat from one box to the other. If I want, I can do the same thing I did inside of Illustrator. Is if I get the little plus at the bottom, I can click on that and come over to my second page, and all I need to do is click with the mouse and it will add my text and make the box the same size. And so we could then run some more text in there. In addition to all that information, you do have your same paragraph option so that you can indent your first line of the paragraph, because right now on this page you'll notice this is not, this is not indented. You have the same thing underneath all the type tools that you have under paragraph. Inside the paragraph pop-up window, just the same as you'd have inside of Illustrator, you have a paragraph option somewhere. Where's my indent? Here it is, this one right here. Oh, we gotta select your text first. Why is it not working? There is an indent option here, and it doesn't seem to be working for me. But it has a lot more control over how to do things like that. I'm thinking I have to select both columns because they're linked together. Maybe. No. I guess maybe I had to set this first. No. I don't know why it won't let me do the paragraph. But there is a paragraph option for indenting your first line, as well as things like that. Again, you can have text run from page to page. You could, and of course, building the master. I don't know why my page number is not working there, and so on. Let's look at some of the pop-up menus. Here's how to do the e-publishing. Like I was talking about, you have a bunch of options for e-publishing, and those are under Window Interactive, and you'll notice you have animations, you have bookmarks, buttons and forms would be for interactive elements. EPUB Interactive Preview, I guess, is a preview. Hyperlinks would make a link, like I said. Liquid Layout is a way that you would make your EPUB so that it changes the size of the article according to which device you're using your reading your article on, right? Some people have Android, some people have iPhone, some people have iPhone 6, some people have iPads, some people have big iPads, some people have small iPads. So in order to do the EPUB, you do something called liquid layout so that the layout of the document changes according to that. Now I was just doing a publishing document here. I didn't do that liquid layout. And then you can have object states. Those are different interactive objects so that when the person presses it, it can change color. You can have a transition so that when the person touches maybe an option, it would actually, some of the most common would be wipe, fade, and things like that. These are common transitions and so on. So these are all kind of options that you can put into a digital publishing option. Again, you also have layers like you would inside of Illustrator. You have multiple layers. You can use the layer window to select things as well. You also have, where was I at? I was at layers, right? Layers, okay. Links. Link is for objects that you have. Right now I only have one object. That is the graphic I put on the desktop. Remember the photo I downloaded and put? That photo is actually linked to this document. It's not part of InDesign. So InDesign kind of works like the way Illustrator used to work. I know the new version, when you import something, it's automatically embedded. But objects are linked so that you have, because if you're publishing something, you don't want to have all the images part of the document. That would be a huge document. So all these things are kind of linked together. Mini Bridge is a way of looking for images. Okay, it's like Bridge. We've used Adobe Bridge before. You got alignment, Pathfinder, transform, output, attributes, flattener, pre-flight. These are ones to prepare for publishing.
If you have an image that you've saved onto your laptop and you put it into your document somewhere, does it automatically link it? Like if you make a change to the picture?
Yes. So I have this beautiful photo right here, right, of sound waves. Oh, my indent worked. Why is indent working there? I don't know what's going on with the indent. So with this object, yes. Oh, move my text. There we go. Yeah, this is linked. So if I go and change the one that's on the desktop in Photoshop, it'll automatically update. Yeah, so if I go to, remember this is on the desktop right here, I can go and do my adjustment in Photoshop. Everybody's favorite is levels, right? There we go. Brighten it up a little bit there. Hit OK. Save the file. Immediately go right back. And it should automatically update. No, it didn't update. I don't know. It should have updated. Maybe it's not linked. Oh, it has a little error message here. Double click to update. Double click to update. How about that? Now it's a better picture. It was kind of dark before. Okay, so it had a little error message, double click to update. So it knew it changed, it just wasn't showing it to you automatically. Where was I at? so all these options over here are for digital publishing. You can see animation, timing, media, object, buttons, hyperlinks, liquid layout, and so on. I made a digital publishing probably 3 years ago. Was the only time I ever tried it. It has been a long time. Let me see if I can make another one. How did I do that? Maybe it was digital publishing. And oh yeah, here it is. So you can choose your default layout. So yeah, I went digital. So I went to a new document. I'm going to try some of the digital publishing features right now. Before we're done, we only got about 10 minutes. So again, under File, New, I went to Library. What did I choose? New document. But then I went here to digital publishing. And down here again, you got your iPad Retina, Android, Surface Pro, Kindle, and so on. So you have all these features right here. We can use the default iPad. You can choose what landscape orientation and so on, and hit OK. Then again, you have these liquid layout options here. And there's like rules. I guess I'd have to put some stuff on there. Let's make a text box. Can't undo. Oh, it's automatic. It has first text box already there. And I can put a picture in there. Where's place? Place. And then, there we go. Get it to fit. Let's get some text in there. Text. And you can put a media in there. This is all kinds of different things. You can put object states in there, buttons and forms, hyperlinks, and so on. And you could even use your Adobe theme if you want. Did we make themes in this class? Did we do color themes? Okay, remind me to do it next week, okay? Oh, the problem is we're not logged in as ourselves, right? In order to do things like color themes and stuff, you have to have your account, right? You have to have your, like, let's say I was logged into my Adobe account and I went to color themes. My themes that I have saved on my Adobe account would show up here. My themes. See, I don't have any themes because I'm not logged into, this. You know how when you're using your version, you're logged in, right? The cloud, that's what I'm trying to say, yeah. And so on. So, So I have a video that I could put in. I used media. So here's a video. You can have page loads when play on page load, and so there's some interactive features here. So here's a video I put in that was on my desktop because this is a digital publishing, right? So you can do things like that. The animation feature, you can do separate frames like we did the animation in Animate, and you can bring that in as well. The things like we did. So that was media. What else did I say we could put in? There is a way to put a button on there. and you can drag your buttons in there if you want. It's pretty ugly buttons. But these are like interactive states that you can put in, and you can make your own interactive state as well, like something you would make in Illustrator. But if you want to have like a button on there, you can put that in there. I don't know how. Maybe drag it in. There we go. And then each state has a normal and an over state, and then you can actually have a click state as well, and they could be different colors. I don't know how to get that into here. Somehow you can get it different colors. But these are different objects. And then when the person clicks to it, you can have it go to a URL, as you can see here. So this is a button I put on there, and I can have it go to URL, and here's where we can put the URL. Let's have it go to Google. So when the person hits this button, it'll go to it'll go to Google. There we go. There you go. So we got a button, we have a video, we have a picture, we have some text. Let's save our file and preview. And then you can preview your digital publishing and see what it looks like. I don't have an account. I'm not logged in, so I can't preview it. But there is another preview, wasn't there? Oh, EPUB interactive preview. There we go. Okay, it's a little small, but you can see the video was automatic. So again, I put a video in using media, and then so that you got controllers for your video, your interactivity. This should go to Google. When I click on it, it goes to Google, right? So you have all these cool features like that built right into InDesign, and so I think something you might want to try is InDesign. Learn how to make layouts. And then learn how to do interactivity. This is very popular. You can also make your own e-publishing and put it onto the Apple Store if you want. You can make today. You're not limited by these giant publishing houses like Random House and things like that. You could make your own magazine and you could put it right onto Apple Store all by yourself using tools like this. And then, self-publishing. People are doing it all the time. Everybody's doing it. It's the thing to do today. The kids are doing today. How much does it cost? Well, you just need to have an Apple account, and it's $99, I think, a year. So $99 a year, I believe, is what it costs to have have the Apple account. And I can make as many apps as I want, and I can put them on the App Store. Using Xcode. So the program we use to make apps, so this is a great program for doing what you see here, but if you want to make a real app like you have in the App Store, there's a program on these computers right there. It's called Xcode right there. Boom. Click on Xcode, and there it is. And we can make a project in Xcode. What do I want to do? I want to make a project. You can make an app, a game, all kinds of things. Give it a name. And it's really not that hard to do with this Xcode. It's built right in. You got a storyboard right there. Boom, it looks like a... Oh, how do I zoom out? I know there's a way to zoom out. This is not zooming out.
If you're writing a book and you want to share it with someone, just to say, hey, go look at this, but it's like graphically intense, so you can't just email it. It's like Dropbox.
Sure, I guess you can Dropbox. You can publish out of InDesign as a PDF, and then people can read it through Acrobat.
But if it's too big for that, does it always crunch down enough?
No, well, there's ways that you can take the images that you have linked and recompress them. just like when you're making a PDF, you can recompress those as well. I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is now that you've learned Illustrator, it's time to move on to doing bigger and better things. Okay.